Matrix Alone asks, comments, he says, a little bit off topic. Any questions you have or topics you want me to address, just ask them or send them, and I'll do a video on it. I have no problem. Is there any good books on Apokastasis? It looks like Apokastasis, but it's okay. Now I'm mispronouncing. Apokastasis. Sorry, it's early. I was falling asleep as I was driving my to work. Oh. No, I would steer clear of that, because, okay. Again, it's a term of restoration. That's what we believe. I mean, that's exactly what we believe. But transfigured. Now, as for it being universal salvation, that's, even though it's a heresy that can be held, that's not dangerous. It's a false. If you properly know Orthodoxy and are practicing it, and you say, God is so much boundless love that being in His presence will, like the fire burning away the dross, that even the chaff, they will even be refined, and that eventually all will be within the kingdom close to the existing one. And that's fine. And many church fathers and desert fathers held that view. This is one of the things that winds up getting morphed into what would become purgatory in the West. You know, the view privately that the love of the existing one will change and purify all hearts eventually, but that is not to be preached, and that's not to be taught. We don't preach or teach that. Privately, if you come to that, we see that as a good mark of someone who's Orthodox. You know, it's not, oh, we're, you know, the only, we've never believed that we're, I mean, there's only one church and we are the one and only church. But there are other sheep, and we don't know, we know who's inside the church, we don't know who's outside. God, oh, I don't like that word, the existing one, he who is Yahon, if the hearts of men allow it, you know, if we're stuck in, if you view it as eternity, but again, there's going to be no time after the last day, which doesn't make sense to say after the last day, then that's a fine view to hold, that you look around the world and you see some goodness in some people, or that they're evil because they were hurt in many ways, and that eventually they will make it to the kingdom. This is not, you know, being tortured in hell for a while for your sins in order to get out, like how Islam has it. But yeah, you could say, you know, I believe, you know, God is so loving that all of mankind, we believe everything, even plants and animals, will be restored, right? But if privately in your own heart you believe God is so loving that even the biggest monsters of history, Fred and Rosemary West, Adolf Hitler, mark the true, these characters. Just look up Fred and Rosemary West. If you think, well, God, eventually they're being in the presence of God, and that torment of reflecting upon these evils that they have done, that will, being in the presence of God will change them, their heart, and they will not remain stiff-necked forever, and that all will eventually be in the kingdom. That's a fine view to have. Privately. But publicly, that's not the message of the gospel. Well, I don't want to say that's not the message of the gospel. That's not the message that we were told to maintain, keep, and announce. Not proselytize. There's many ways of using that Greek word, because usually it means like the rebuilding of a city after it gets destroyed by a barbarian, or rebuilding of a wall. But as universal salvation goes, it's the only thing that's a heresy that can be privately held, and that's seen as good. You know, because it does miss the mark of, you know, the teaching of the church, and you know, a lot of things like that. But if it truly comes from a place of the heart of love, then there were many saints in the church that held that we see that as the beauty in them, that the love overflows, the cup overflows with love. Now, if you take it as, well, I'm going to be saved anyways, saved like in the Western sense that they think, I might as well go out and have sex and booze it up. No, that's license. That's no. But if we're talking about a disciplined, devoted follower of Christ, and many of them were monastics and ascetics that held this view, then that's fine, and we smile upon that in their heart. But this is not something to be preached. You can hold that view and be Orthodox, and the chalice will not be withheld from you. But again, you need to tread lightly on this. This is why, when you asked me to suggest a book on it, I can't think of one, because they're not good enough one. I would say you read things like Gregory of Nyssa, Clement of Alexandria, and Origen. Although Origen is not a church father, but those three, again, that's why I tell people to go back to the sources. Those three are the good early sources: Gregory of Nyssa, Clement of Alexandria, and Origen. Peace to you. I gotta say, Serbia, Syria, and Ireland.